most of my life, up until 2 or maybe 3 years ago, I couldn't say the letter R. Even to this day, sometimes I struggle with it, which is difficult when you have a poem in which you say rise like 5 times. One thing that I would do to try to train myself to say it is I would listen to the song Aaron Burr, Sir, which is just packed with R's. And I would try to keep up with Leslie Odom Jr. as he's, doing this amazing rap. And I'd say, if I can train myself to do this song, then I can train myself to say this letter. And so that's been a huge part of my own speech pathology. It's why I included it in the inaugural poem. Also beyond that, I think Hamilton is just such a great kind of American cultural piece of what it means to be a better country. I feel just so overjoyed and so grateful and so humbled. I came here to do the best with the poem that I could, and to just see the support that's been pouring out. I literally can't absorb it all. We've seen over the past few years the ways in which the power of words has been violated and misappropriated. And what I wanted to do is to kind of reclaim poetry as that site in which we can re-purify, re-sanctify not only the Capitol building, which we saw violated, but the power of words, and to invest that in kind of the highest office of the land. I did a lot of research ever since I found out in late December that I was going to be the inaugural poet. So that was making sure I read all of the previous inaugural poems, really doing a deep literature dive of other orators who I look up to, whether it be Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, and how they speak to a nation that can feel very divided. And I was around halfway through that process and kind of that research when the January 6th insurrection happened at the Capitol. And I'm not going to say that completely, derailed the poem, because I was not surprised at what had happened. I had seen the signs and the symptoms for a while. But what it did is it energized me even more to believe that much more firmly in a message of hope and unity and healing. I felt like that was the type of poem that I needed to write, and it was the type of poem that the country and the world needed to hear. There's a line in the poem that you might have heard, which is, "We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it." I got that actually from looking through a few tweets, and a lot of people being like, wow, this is what happens when people don't want to share the country with the rest of us. And so I took that, which often became a meme on Twitter, and I put that in the poem. I'm proud of us, because this really takes a village. I have so many supporters, so many organizations that have supported me, whether it be Urban Word, the National Youth Poet Laureate Program, or White Girl LA, where I got a lot of free creative writing resources when I was that skinny girl with a speech impediment who needed a mentor. My mom is actually filming me right now as I do this interview. So like I said, it takes all of us being present and lifting me up to climb this mountain.